somebody would like to go to, they just feel compelled to go, Pimenachem Avel, these families, when they go, they'd like to know what do they say to these widows and orphans. What can they say?
What can they say? That's a great question. What can they say? I think just going there and showing your feeling, I've my own experience. Somebody lost a child, and I came to the Shiva house to visit. And I said to them, I don't have what to tell you. I'm just here to mishtatev and take part in your pain. The person would have told me that was the best thing everybody said. Everybody said, but that was the best thing you could, that the best, anybody said it was the best thing. I'd say sometimes, what can you say? Everything I could say, they know already. So the religious Jews, they know what it's all about. They know what this world's about. They know. So there's nothing. They had one time a tragedy in the Jewish elementary school. And we know that the public school system, when the tragedy happens, they send psychologists to talk to the children and calm them down and tell things to make them feel good. So this particular religious school of Jewish students, religious kids, had a tragedy. One of the kids, something happened, a tragedy happened, the kid was killed somehow. So they sent psychologists to calm them down. They went to the principal and said, to the principal, you don't need us over here. These kids, they know it all. They know what it's all about. They know what this world's all about. They know what death is all about. You don't need us. The religious kids, they have faith in God, and they know better than we know. So there's nothing to tell them. So these people you're talking about here, they know what everything's all about, and they're not going to. I once was. I used to be in Toronto for many years. We met a yeshiva in Toronto, and there was two women who were crossing the street, and they were killed instantly by a car. One of the women was one of my teachers, his wife, was a big tzaddik, a very righteous person. The other person was a non-religious person. They were friends. They worked in the same place. They were crossing the street, and they're both sitting shiva. And one of the people visiting them came from that house of shiva to the house of the rabbi's wife's house of shiva. They said, "What a difference!" The other shiva, they're screaming, they're yelling, they don't know what to do with themselves. The wife, the mother was killed, and they come to this house, this calmness, serenity. They realize what God's all about, Judaism is all about, this world's all about. Of course, naturally, they're crying, there's tears, but they're calm. They're not screaming and yelling and don't do it themselves. So people, religious people, they take death much differently than non-religious people because they know there's something to the hereafter. They know there's something great about this world, about Judaism, and they know this is not the main place where we're put. It's only a temporary place. Some people die early, some people die later. It's not a tragedy. A person dies is not a tragedy. Because this is a tragedy of being murdered is a tragedy, but we realize that there's reason for it. It's not just happening for no reason. And this is what we're told in the Torah. I'm sure I mentioned before in previous times that we have one of the laws in the Torah is that you should not tear your skin when the person dies. The people at that time, the Amoraim, the Amorites, the non-Jewish people who served idols, when somebody died, they pulled the hair out and they cut their skin to show their big pain for the person who died. And God says, don't you cut your skin and don't pull your hair out. You are a holy nation. You're a holy nation to the God, Lord your God. So the Ramban, what does it have to do with the holy nation? He says, you're a holy nation. You believe in Tchias HaMeisim. Somebody died, but you know that there's going to be a resurrection of the dead. You know you come together again. You're allowed to cry because if you go to the airport and you see people saying goodbye, people cry. Even though you expect to see them again maybe in 6 months or a year or whatever, people cry. Okay, God didn't stop us from crying when somebody dies, but tear your skin, pull out your hair, for what? You know, you're a holy nation. We're all one nation. We're God's nation. We'll get together again. We believe in the dead becoming alive again. We'll be together again. There's no reason to cut your skin. So this is the whole different outlook that Jewish people have with deaths, with all terrible tragedies happening. But we know there's a reason for it. We know there's a God. We know that in the future we'll understand what it is and we'll realize the goodness of it. Right now it's hard to accept it, but since we're Jewish people, we know God is a good God. He knows what he's doing, and therefore we don't get carried away. We don't get totally depressed by it. We have the strength to go on, and we have to pick up the pieces and be strong and go forward and do what we got to do with more fervor and more strength. God's telling us something. We have to get stronger and stronger. That's what we have to think about. That's the difference between us and the nations of the world. We have to know what we're doing over here. So these are things we have to think ourselves and to tell our children, our families, and everybody that they try to destroy us, but they'll never do it. They won't destroy us. And we'll keep going on to get stronger. And the more they torture us and pressure us, stronger we'll get. And stronger we'll make a comeback. And we'll be he laughs last, laughs best. That's what he always say. That they won't be the ones. We'll be the ones. That's it.
That's it.
That commands. So hope, with God's help, we should hear good news and have simchas, and all those people should be comforted, and we should be merit Mashiach coming. Maybe this is Mashiach, and maybe this is Mashiach coming tomorrow. Who knows? Let's hope so.